to connect to one platform. Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? Yeah, I'm having one of them days. I have one of them days. One of them days. I got it. I got it. Cause I practiced doing this the other day to set up everything on my page. So I'm trying to wait to see what else gotta connect. Do 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 do. Something misconnect. Okay. LinkedIn. I got LinkedIn too. Okay. All right. That'll work. All right. All right. Hey everybody. How is everyone doing today? Welcome, 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 welcome to our forum of authors, authors visibility marathon. We are here today with Miss Jan- Janae.
Yes,
Yes, Miss Janae. How you doing, Miss Janae? She is our
I am.
first guest. She's our first guest to appear today. And we want to say hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone on TikTok. And how is everyone doing? Can y'all see me over there? Can y'all see me over here on TikTok? Cause I see everyone is chiming in. So okay, hey Sharon Montgomery, how is everyone doing? What is everybody up to? All right. So, how you doing, Miss Janae? What are you up to today, baby?
I am beautiful. Thank you for asking. I have just been anxiously and excitedly and I'm trying to be patiently awaiting for this opportunity.
Oh,
Yes,
you're
this has been a
welcome.
big deal for me.
Hey, man, I know that's right. I know that's right. So, I wanted to say it is a pleasure and an honor to have you here today. And I greatly appreciate you being um, uh, my special guest today on Authors Visibility Marathon. And I wanted to really get into your book. And the book is entitled Foreign Marriage, a Modern Day Saga of Women at the Well. Okay. And
Yes.
wanted to, get into that. So, what got you into writing? What prompted you to become an author?
The Holy Spirit, point blank, period, because I did not want to tell my story. When you read it, if you are sensitive, you're gonna be embarrassed. You're gonna you're gonna be appalled. You're gonna feel all of these different emotions because I have been down through there, and I did not want to tell anybody that. But the Holy Spirit just kept prompting me everywhere I went and talked to people about different things going on in my life. The response was always the same: "Girl, you should write a book."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not writing a book. I don't even like to write.
Mm-hmm.
But it things just started happening in my life. I had two children to pass away, and I started like slipping into this deep depression. I tried to run from my grief. I was gonna sell my house and go off the grid. And my friend, she said, Janae, you really need to stop playing and write the stuff down. Write the
Mm-hmm.
stuff down and get it off of you. And that's when I started writing. And I wrote the prologue, and I had the prologue for 2 years. And then I started everything I would pray about. The answer was always the same: write the book. Lord, I just need gas in my car. Write the book. Whatever I was praying about, the response was always the same: write the book. And so I just finally sat down and I wrote something out. It wasn't much, and I presented it to a publisher who I
Mm-hmm.
learned later was gifted. His gift is to help people bring their stories out. True man of God, very compassionate and supportive, encouraging, and from those 30 little pages, I ended up getting a 200-page book because he continued to work with me as God worked with him, and it was all God, basically. The short
Amen.
answer is it was all God. Yeah.
Amen. So we see
Yeah.
that the title of your book, it says Foreign Marriage, a Modern Day Saga of the Woman at the Well. Can you um you know, can you tell me the purpose behind this book?
Okay, so the title, um, Foreign Marriage, comes from Ezra chapter 10, when the
Mhm.
leaders of the Israelites went to the priest Ezra and exclaimed, "We have sinned against God. We have taken these foreign wives." And they were talking about during their exile in Babylon.
Mhm.
And they were intermarrying, and all the things that were against God's law. And
Mhm.
so when they maybe I don't know, they it doesn't really say this, but maybe they thought that they were never going to be out of exile, that that's how they were going to end up. And so I guess it was like, well, we're going to be here anyway, we might as well connect with these women.
Mhm.
But this is the time where they're now no longer in exile. They rebuilt the temple and all the things, and so now they're trying to get back to their proper Israelite status, and they go before Ezra and say that they are, have sinned against God. And so they say, we are going to reconcile with God. We are going to put away these foreign wives and their children. And
Mhm.
so these marriages were outside of God's will. And in studying, and they got divorced. They don't use the word divorce in Ezra or in the Old Testament, but they got divorced because they put away the wives and the children. And so what I learned in that in doing studying is that not just marriages, but anything you do outside of the will of God is foreign. It's
Mhm.
foreign to, because it's not what he ordained, or what it's not his will. And so that's where I got that title from, because if you know the story of the woman at the well, when she meets Jesus, she is on her sixth marriage. And he says to her, "The one you have now is not your own." Well, that is my story. That's how the subtitle became, because that is my story. I
Mhm.
have been divorced 6 times. And when I came to Jesus and finally surrendered, because
Mhm.
I had already given my life to Christ several times, you'll find that out in the book. But I had already given my life to Christ, but I had not ever truly surrendered my life to Him. So I got saved, but I kept living how I wanted to live.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't until after divorce number 6 is when I finally just broke down, went before Him,
Mhm.
laid out, "Lord, fix me, show me what is wrong with me, that
Mhm.
I cannot have this one thing that I want." Because since a little girl, all I've ever wanted was to be a wife and a mother. I
Mhm.
didn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer, Indian chief, none of that. I just wanted to be a wife and a mother.
Okay.
And I could not, I was trying to make it happen for myself because my childhood was so raggedy. I suffered all the abuses, and I learned, or I was taught, that I had no value unless I was
Mhm.
serving. And I learned that in my situation, I learned that love was only found through sex. And so anywhere I felt like I wanted to be loved, or I was trying to create an environment of love,
Uh-huh.
I would give my body as a token of, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And I
Yes.
had it all wrong, but it was what I was taught. It was how I was raised. Um, I've been sexual since I was at least 3. And I say at least because that's just as far back as I can remember.
Mhm.
Because some of the things that I've done could have only come from some type of sexual abuse that I just don't remember,
Okay.
because I would not have known to do those things at that
Yeah.
young age.
Yes, ma'am.
And
So,
so that's where the title comes from, and that's kind of I what motivated me, you know, It's just the things that I've done. And once I went before the Lord and He showed me, took me back to my childhood, showed me that there's nothing wrong with me, but things happened to me that were not dealt with.
Yes.
And so as a result, I dragged all of that toxicity
Uh-huh.
throughout my life, hurting other people, damaging other relationships. And it brought me to the space where I was now the woman at the well, trying to figure out, trying to navigate my guilt and shame. And He delivered me from all of that, the guilt, the shame. I don't feel any of it anymore.
Yes.
He showed me how to love me first, because that was the problem. I didn't love me because I had believed the lies that I
Yes.
had no value.
Yes.
And he showed me, he just showed me what he created me for. And
Yes.
that was to love and lift up, encourage others. I live by Isaiah 61:1. For the Lord has anointed me to heal the brokenhearted, to set the captives free,
Mhm.
to proclaim the good news. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And during your journey of becoming an author, how was that process for you writing your book? As far as all the emotions, the emotions that come up a when you write about deep stuff in your life, how did you deal with the emotions of that during your writing?
So, so when I started writing, it was after my daughter passed away. That was the first of my children to pass away. And
Mhm.
so that's when my friend told me that I needed to write it down. So I was angry. And so I was just writing, like, this is chaos and I can't control it. And, I'm just, you know.
Yes.
So that was the energy behind writing the prologue. Um, then it just started to evolve from there. I started thinking about, like, why am I even here anyway? You
Hmm.
know, uh, I'm here on a dare because my father told my mother that the only way he would be her boyfriend is if she had sex with him. And so at 15 years old, she gave him her virginity,
Uh-huh.
and here I am, right?
Uh-huh.
And so um, that made me angry because I'm like, y'all didn't even want me, you know. And
Mhm.
then as a result, you treated me bad because
Yeah.
you didn't want me. So, I'm just writing like all of this stuff down.
Yes.
And then I got to a point where in the prologue, I wrote all of these things down and all the things that she said to me that I would never be anything and
Hmm.
all, and I got to the end of that and I was like, but she was wrong. She was
Yeah.
wrong. Because I am a retired Army veteran. I used to be a drill sergeant and a recruiter. Um,
Hmm.
I have I gave birth to 5 children. I've raised many more because of different circumstances. I've traveled the world. I have a master's degree in human resource. Um, I'm a certified peer recovery specialist. Um, and a few other things. A woman of God. I serve in church, and I can go in a room dressed in all black with a hood on, sunglasses, be all the way in the back, sleep, and they will
Hmm.
put me in charge of something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it is the favor of God on my life. And
Yeah.
so she was wrong. She was wrong. I said all of that simply to say that she was wrong. And
Uh-huh.
that's where I stopped in the prologue. And
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything else to write because I didn't want to talk about it.
Yes.
I didn't want to talk about it. And so it went on for, like I said, a couple of years. And finally, the Lord was like, "Okay, you've been stagnant long enough. It's time to finish." And
Yes.
as I was writing, I wasn't writing, I was talking. I turned my computer on dictate and I would just talk to my computer.
Okay.
And when I got to the hard spots, I would stop and I would pray. And when I was talking about husband number one, who was a very good person, he was a
Mm-hmm.
very good person, and I hurt him tremendously. I couldn't move on until I apologized to him. So I looked for him and found him on LinkedIn
Uh-huh.
and apologized to him. And it wasn't until that I did that I was able to move on to the next chapter.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was just situations like that. I would run into these emotional roadblocks and I
Yeah.
would have to stop and I would have to reconcile that if I hadn't already. Some
Yeah.
spaces I had already, like as I went through my past, as I was going through the different things, I did apologize and attempt to reconcile in different spaces. But
Mhm.
some I hadn't. So when I ran into those emotional roadblocks, I had to, and sometimes it was just reconciling with myself and just dealing with myself and forgiving myself.
Yes.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I wrote it. I just talked to my computer. And
I
when
know
I was
that's
done,
right.
do spell check and grammar check and all the things and made sure it sounded like I wanted it to sound and made sure that it was proper English because my grandmother would have a fit if messed around and misspelled something.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, in the process of doing all of that, you know, when we go into a moment of self-reflection, and the self-reflection part plays a key with us, you know, with your book coming out, what kind of feedback have you had with the book?
Most of it has been positive. Most, when I say most, like 99 point something positive.
Uh-huh.
I just did a live on Facebook because I was like super nervous about, and then when you sent the email about doing this interview, I don't know why because I've done a couple of three others, but I was just really nervous this morning. And then when you told me I had an hour, I was like, oh God, I don't know what to talk about. I don't have nothing to say for an hour. I was so
Well,
nervous.
I it's the thing of we're gonna have we're having I said this. A friend of mine made it real clear to me, and they said, don't worry about the ones that don't show up. Take care of the ones that do. And so I was like, well, it's like a hour and 10 minutes before my next guest. So I said I'm gonna just go
Uh-huh.
ahead and give you and my other guests the floor for an hour each, and we're just gonna kick it like a regular conversation because I have learned that experience is a good teacher, but you have to learn how to pivot at the same time. When it comes to being in media, when it comes to being in this field of what my profession is. So I said I'm gonna go ahead and test these limits today, right? Test these limits today, and just love on my guests and love on them, and let you tell your story the way only you know how to tell it, and not be crunched into the time frame. And we're just going, I'm just go ahead and just relax,
Right. Right.
because that's the way God gave it to me about today. So,
Right.
is this your first book that you have written, Mr. Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how was that experience of like going through the process, all the stuff you had to learn? How was that?
Right. Well, like I said, I had to like stop and navigate these emotional hurdles as I went along writing it.
Mhm.
And when I got to the end, or what I thought was the end,
Mhm.
then I was like, okay, Lord, I wrote the book. Now what? And
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
It was on me to publish it, but I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know who to trust or whatever. And somebody in our church wrote a book,
Uh-huh.
and they were selling the book after service. And I looked on the back and found the publisher, True Vine Publishing. And
Okay.
because it said True Vine, I was like, okay, they know the Lord. So
Yes.
I just made the assumption that they know the Lord, and so I'm gonna call him. Well, I went to the author and I asked him. I said, "How was your publishing experience with this guy?" And he
Uh-huh.
said, "Oh, he goes to our church." And he go, I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Start talking all these great things about him."
Uh-huh.
And so I said, "Well, I'm gonna give him a call."
Okay.
And I gave him a call, and from the
Yes.
very first phone call, I felt like he had me. You know, like I went, and you know how you try to put a fit a peg into all these different holes, and only
Mm-hmm.
one of them fit. And it was like when I called him, it was like it went right in the hole. I was like, "This is it. This is it." And from the very beginning, he has just walked with me and worked with me all the times where I was like super nervous. He called me. So his contract says that they don't do anything until you pay 50%, right?
Yeah.
So I made this like 1% deposit,
Uh-huh.
and I thought I was gonna pay $100 a month, and
Right.
maybe by April that
Uh-huh.
I would be finished paying half or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And but he didn't do what he said, because as soon as I paid him that deposit, the
Yeah.
next week he started texting me, "Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the title? And do you want me to create the cover? Or do you have an idea for the cover?" And I'm at work thinking, why is he texting me? I haven't given him any money. And I mean, I gave him, the deposit. I haven't
Yeah.
given him any amount of money, sufficient
Uh-huh.
amount of money. And so he's texting. And so I'm answering his text, but the more I answer, the more he texts me.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a subtitle?
Uh-huh.
And da 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 da. And then,
Uh-huh.
like on Tuesday, he sends me the title, the cover of the book.
Yeah.
What you think about this? I was like,
Yeah.
man,
It was
stop
kind of
texting me.
was it kind of overwhelming for you
It
at
was
first?
incredibly overwhelming because I was not expecting any of this until 6 months from now. Because I was planning on paying him. Because he has a year. His policy is, you got a year to pay, and they
Yeah.
don't bother you like monthly payments or whatever. You pay, it's on
Mhm.
you. If you don't pay, you lose whatever you paid up to that point. And
Yeah.
so it's all on you, right? And so
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, good. I can stretch this all the way out. I'll call him next year.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
He just started calling me, and finally one day after work, I called him. I said, "Look, you cannot be sending me these text messages and stuff." I said, "Every time you send me something, got short of breath. The room starts spinning." I said, and I just don't, I don't.
Uh-huh.
And he was so compassionate and genuine and understanding. He said,
Mhm.
"So let me ask you a question." I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
what is it?" He said, "What are you afraid of?" And I said,
Mhm.
"I don't know." I said, "If I put this book out, people gonna be talking about me." I said, "And then my family, they gonna be mad because I talked about my mother, because everybody love my mother,
Yeah.
and and he said, "So they gonna have an opinion?" And I said, "Well, yeah, they gonna have an opinion." He said,
Uh-huh.
"But they got an opinion already."
Uh-huh.
I said, "Oh, you're right." He said, "And it is somebody out there who is waiting to hear from you.
Yeah.
Somebody who your story is gonna keep them from committing suicide.
Mhm.
Somebody whose life is gonna change as a result." And when he said that, my
Yeah.
second child died by suicide. When he said that,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what I gotta do?
Yeah.
What I gotta do? Because if I can do anything, I remember a poem that I read for show and tell when I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. I remember my grandmother standing me on the coffee table and making me recite this poem over and over again because she was serious about English and grammar and the way you talk and all of that.
Uh-huh.
And the I want to say the title of the poem is "Lord Show Me How," but I just remember a few lines of it, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them is a couple of them are if I can do some good today, if
Yes.
I can serve along God's way,
Yeah.
if I can something helpful say, Lord show me how.
Yes.
And so I knew in that moment that I had a responsibility.
Uh-huh.
I had a responsibility to put the book out.
Yes.
And when I went to him and I told him
Yeah.
how afraid I was, I
Yeah.
said, I don't want to tell my business. I don't want my story out there like that.
Yeah.
He said, it's not your story you telling. He
Yeah.
said, it's my story that you're telling of
Yeah.
my grace and my mercy and my goodness.
Uh-huh.
And that is what gave me, that conversation is what gave me the words to say to people when they ask me, what is my book about?
Uh-huh.
I tell them it is my memoir that chronicles my journey from abuse to addiction to acceptance.
Uh-huh.
It is a testimony. It is my testimony that no matter how far you've fallen, what you've done, where you've been,
Yeah.
God's grace is available to you. I don't care who you are. And
Yeah.
everything you've ever heard about yourself that was negative is a
Mm-hmm.
lie. And I don't care who said it. Your mom or your daddy, you said it. It's a lie. It's a
Yeah.
lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because God created you beautiful.
Yes. He did. God, he doesn't make any mistakes, you know.
Don't.
And you know, we have a story to tell as women because as Black African American women, sometimes our stories don't get told in the right manner. There are bits and pieces put together, and some people, they like to villainize us, or we the villain, or this why this happened to you because you did this, and they don't realize that it's generational. They don't realize the stuff that we go through is really generational stuff. From the way your mom raised you, your parents raised you, and sometimes they don't realize in these generations, this is what they used to do to us as slaves. And they don't realize that
Mm-hmm.
that's now generational curses, these generational things upon us as women, and when we get out and tell our story, then it's like, oh, really? Now, I had one person, I have my book, it's entitled Coming to Loving Yourself, and I had a man read my book, a friend of mine, and he was one of them friends from way back in the day when I was running the street. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, wow, now I understand my wife better because my wife was doing the same thing that you was doing in your life before I met her. So now I understand my wife
Mm-hmm.
better. And he understand, he's like, man, all me, he's like giving me compliments. Or all men should read this book because it gives you a better understanding of us as women, of what what we've experienced, what we've gone through, how our childhood was, how our parents
Mm-hmm.
treated us. It breaks
Mm-hmm.
down the mindset of why that woman act like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
she a control freak. She narcissistic. She all about herself. She don't appreciate me, and he was just going on and on and on. He's like, wow, you broke it down of why women act the way they act sometimes because of the life they have lived before they met the person they were with. And
Mm-hmm.
even
Mm-hmm.
it even tells the story of the men that were in my life that were not healed because I was looking for a father figure.
Yes.
I'm looking for a
Yes.
father figure, and he not no father figure. He's supposed to be your boyfriend, but you looking for him to be the father figure that you never had, and he can't fill them shoes. He
Yep.
he can't.
Yep.
He don't know nothing about your life before you met him. So stop putting that on that brother like that, you know.
Hmm.
And sometimes when we open ourselves up and we tell people our stories, they get a better understanding of what our mindsets is like.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
So, do you have your book so you can read an excerpt out of it, maybe one or two paragraphs?
Yep, I do. I have it right here. And I just wanted to say, I wanted to jump on what you just said
Mm-hmm.
of talking about helping people understand who you are, helping a man understand why the woman acts the way she acts.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that it does, this is what I just found out this week.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Not really just found out, but yeah, it just kind of came together for me this week. Is that it also helps you to weed out the people who are not for you based on what they say about your book. Because I had somebody, and I thought he was a friend that I work with. We talk all the time about different stuff or whatever.
Yes.
And he always compliments me, you know, you so strong and you confident and you da 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 or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
he would judge people and I would tell him, you don't know where that person's been or what they've gone through. I said, because I have experienced that right there. And he would go, no, 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 because you a Lotha. You know, I don't even see it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I kept saying, you need to read my book. You need to read my book.
You
And
read,
when
you need to read, brother. You need to read.
he read the book,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. When he read the book, he came back and he said to me, I had to talk to God because I really truly wrestled with whether or not I was going to continue to be your friend. That's what he told me. Whether or not he was going to continue to be my friend based on what happened in the past, not who you know today, because you
Right.
wouldn't even know this about me had I
Mm.
not written it down.
Yes.
But you let that determine our friendship today. I said, oh, I understand now that
Mm-hmm.
you are not even worthy to be in my life today because you stuck on yesterday, something that you didn't even know about. And then when
Right.
he was talking about it in first person.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you. I always thought you was so sweet, and I am. I am.
Look. I,
Today, I am.
right. So,
Yeah, he said,
uh,
yeah. And I said, um, so what does that mean? And he said, well, I mean, I just couldn't believe that you would do this to me, to you. You,
you, you didn't write
yeah.
the book,
Let,
dude.
let me know right there that
Yeah.
you are not worthy of being
Amen.
in my life today.
Amen.
You need to you
Amen.
go in this category now. So yeah.
Ooh,
So yeah, that was
yes.
an example.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
oh, and I wanted to also add this. At the same time, a guy who was trying to date me, he read the book because that's a requirement. If you want to date me, you have to read my book first, gentlemen. Just saying. Because I need you to know
Yeah.
who I used to be.
Yeah.
Because if you got a problem with that, I need you to go on over there and work that out.
Amen. Amen.
Over there.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Because he read the book and
yeah.
then he tried to come for me. Well, how I don't know that you just gonna run off with some man. Man, who you talking to? And who you talking about? Because if you talking about the person in the book, I don't know her.
Right?
I don't know her.
That's the
I put it
old
on the
me.
paper and
That
I'm done. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's the
yeah,
old me.
it acts as a filter or a gauge for
Yeah.
stupid. So it keeps all the people that I know who need to be over there and who I can spend
Yeah.
time with. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
So
based on
because
let's read my
because
book.
yes, ma'am. It also has this effect of, it also has this effect of, if you, I had this saying this morning. I had this saying. I came up with this saying this morning, and I put it on my
Hmm.
TikTok page, and it said, "No, no, that's not this. That's not this. No, I don't. My phone is acting up. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. If you can't deal with the heal me, then get from around me.
I
If
love
you
that.
can't
I
deal
love
with
that.
the healed me, then get
Yes.
from around me. You know,
Yes. 'Cause what I'm not gonna do is go back.
right? Right?
And that's what I feel like those people want.
Uh,
They want that person because
yeah,
that person they can control.
uh,
That person makes them feel better about their negativity or
yeah.
whatever they got going on in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That person will entertain the foolishness and the drama, and you can have all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a guy, I was in a relationship probably about 4 years ago. I had, it was a very brief relationship. It lasted about 5 weeks
Yeah.
because I would not argue with him. I would not, I would not argue with him. I, when I disagreed about something, I said how I felt,
And that's
and
it.
I was kind about it, and I was done with it. I didn't think no more about it.
Right?
And he he didn't like something that I did,
Mhm.
and he was fussing about it, or something that I didn't want to do. He was
Right.
mad because I didn't want to do something,
Uh-huh.
and he was fussing about it. And I said, "Well, I understand how you feel." I said, "But I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna do that."
Right.
And he couldn't think of nothing else to say because I wouldn't argue with him. I just
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
"I understand, but I'm not gonna do that." And
Right.
then and then a few minutes later, I went, "Are we okay?" You know, because I'm
Uh-huh.
like ready to move on. You know,
Yeah. With the
no,
conversation.
we not okay. I'm going to bed. He went to
Uh-uh.
bed.
Oh
And
God.
he left.
He look.
And he went to bed. And he went to bed. So, I was sleeping on the couch. In fact, that's what the argument was about. He was mad because I came to visit him in his house, but I wouldn't sleep in the bedroom with him. And so I slept on the couch or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after I left, that was then. Look.
See you later. Arrivederci.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you
I'm
ready to
just,
read this excerpt, Miss
yes,
Janae?
yes. I am reading from chapter 5. It's
Yes, ma'am.
titled Marriage Regret. This is husband number 2.
Uh-huh.
But I could never find peace. Angry outbursts became commonplace, and nothing ever seemed to satisfy me.
Uh-huh.
Both Ellis and I had grown up in emotionally and spiritually unhealthy environments, so we tried to create something better for the people we loved.
Mm-hmm.
We brought our siblings to live with us, hoping to give them a sense of stability in a home that was clean, calm, and safe. We wanted them to have opportunities we never did. His mother had also been a single parent, struggling to make ends meet. And deep down, I was always worried that my sister, like me, was unprotected. One summer, Ellis's younger brother, who was the same age as my sister, came to stay with us. At first, I told myself that I was just frustrated because he and Ellis spent so much time together, playing video games, laughing, and bonding. But the truth is, it wasn't jealousy, it was anger. He became an outlet for the rage I didn't understand, the anger that had nowhere else to go. I picked at him constantly. Clean this up. Who's that?
Ho-
Who's that?
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Why haven't you finished? He was only 15. just a boy far from home, and our house was a world away from what he was used to. We both worked, we had two little girls, and I tried desperately to keep everything in order.
Uh-huh.
One day, during another one of my tirades, I was yelling at him again. Ellis finally snapped. He grabbed me, held me tightly, and shouted, "Stop! Leave him alone!" But my pride and ego couldn't take it. In
Uh-huh.
that instant, I felt humiliated, disrespected, and exposed. My mind screamed, "Oh no, he didn't. How dare he embarrass me in front of his brother?"
Uh-huh.
Rage flooded through me, hot and uncontrollable. I
Uh-huh.
wanted to fight him. I wanted to fight them both. I
Uh-huh.
just wanted to release everything building inside of me. Years of anger, pain, and resentment.
Mm-hmm.
When he finally let me go, I knew right then if I swung on either of them, they might team up on me for real. So instead, I turned that fury loose on everything around me. I became a storm, a tornado tearing through the house. I started in the kitchen, throwing open cabinets and hurling their contents to the floor. Plates shattered, spices scattered, and my screams filled the air. I don't even remember what I said, only the sound of my own voice, raw and breaking. The shame, the anger was too much. Years of buried emotion poured all out at once. I was crying, yelling, destroying, and suddenly I realized I was losing control of my body.
Okay.
I felt the warmth of urine running down my legs. But even then, a voice inside whispered, "You're peeing on yourself."
Uh-huh.
And another voice, louder, defiant, answered, "If I stop, I'll have to calm down. And I don't want to calm down." It
Uh-huh.
was a war between my mind and my rage, and I was losing. I didn't stop until my strength was gone. When the fury finally drained from me, I collapsed in the middle of the floor, sobbing. My pants were soaked, my heart was broken, and I was consumed with humiliation. I could hear Ellis in the background, his voice frantic, telling his brother to call the police. My babies, just 1 and 3 years old, were crying, terrified. Thank God they didn't make that call. When the storm passed, I dragged myself to the bathroom, stripped off my wet clothes, and stood under the shower, letting the water wash away what I couldn't put into words. And then I went to bed, empty, ashamed, and exhausted. The
Okay.
weight of what had just happened pressed down on me so heavy that I could hardly breathe.
Uh-huh.
And still, Ellis stayed.
Okay. So it feels so good to sit and read your it feels good to sit and hear you read your words because only you know what you experienced in that time frame. And I want to say thank you for telling your story. Thank you for telling it your way. And thank you for being honest, truthful with yourself. Because a lot of us women, we're not truthful and honest with ourselves about a lot of things that we experience in our life. And it's like, wait a minute, they putting on abs, they putting on all these wigs, they putting all this fake, this face on, and it's like I gotta pretend to be somebody else. I gotta pretend I gotta be the grown adult, and I'm not hurting inside. And it takes a lot of bravery and courage to tell a story of I've been through this. I've been through this experience. I've been through something of this magnitude that it could have crushed me. It could have sent me to the insane asylum. Especially when it comes to our parents and the way, excuse me, and the way they might have treated us growing up. Or we could have been evil, vindictive. I gotta take all my anger that people did all these things to me and take it out on others around me. Or We're self-destructive. We use drugs. We drink all the time. We man instead of womanize, we manonize. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we manonize. We turn
Mm-hmm.
around and we go from one person to the next person, and we could do these things, and then one day the light bulb go off and say, "My, ain't you had enough of that? Ain't you tired of doing it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I got something else for you to do." It's like the Holy Spirit sit there and be like, "Look, ain't you kind of tired of doing the same old thing already? You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
ain't
out of
you,
way now.
yeah,
Look.
and finally when that light bulb go off, you realize like, okay, Lord, you're the only person I really need. You're the only person I really have. So I'm going to surrender to you, and
Yes.
I'm going to do what you say do. I'm going to do what you ask me to do. And then when you start following them directions of what God asks you to do, the whole game changes.
Yes. Yes.
Game
Yes.
changes.
That part.
It's like, look, you're not gonna treat me like this, and you're not gonna talk to me like that. And who you think you talking to? And no, no, you're not good for me. No, I can't go over there. No, I ain't doing this for you. It
Yes.
becomes it becomes a mindset of, look, I have been putting everybody else before me and my pain into everybody else and looking for a solution, and it ain't there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not
Exactly.
there. It's not. That's it. That's not it. And God awakens your discernment. He awakens your discernment with the power of, okay, um, I'm gonna just wait on you, Lord. I'm gonna just wait. I'm not gonna sit here and be going off half cocked and doing and the discernment becomes so high, is that it it gives you a shield of, I want to get to know me, and I want to do things that make me happy instead of always, turning around and saying, okay, I got to make this person happy. I got to make this person like me. And then you be like, really? I don't need you like that. I don't need you to, I don't need you to like me. It's not a process. It's not a purpose. It's not nothing behind that. You got to take me as is, or you can go. And it becomes this understanding of, I love me and I know what I like, and I've lived that life already of trying to be accepted by people that didn't like me, or being involved with other people that were just using me for their own purpose, and not having nothing to really stand on. And
Mm-hmm.
it opens your spirit, opens your mind to other aspects of you loving and so thank you for telling your story. Where can the people find you at, Miss Janae?
So my website is alothajmays.com. So ALOTHAJMAYES.com. That is my website. That's where you can find, you can purchase my book. You can purchase it from me directly too. But whatever you do not purchase it from Amazon. Jeff Bezos has enough money, and he takes a lot of money from authors when you purchase your book through him, to 50 over 55%. Yes. So please do not go to Amazon. Go to my website, or you can go to truevinepublishing.org,
Mm-hmm.
or you can contact me directly on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of those are, you can just find my name, Alotha J. Mays, or Alotha Jené Mayes. Alotha, just look that up. That's the one name that you can definitely find me with. Typing in Alotha. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
It has been an honor and a privilege to have you here today. And I want to say thank you. Thank you. And I
For
wish
having.
you and I wish you much success with your book. Okay?
Yes.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
And you're
All right,
welcome.
y'all.
And you have a
Take
blessed day,
care.
okay, baby?
All right, you too. Until next time, be amazing.
All right, you too, baby. All right. All right, everyone. It has been an honor and a privilege. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, honor and a privilege to have Miss Jené with us on our authors visibility marathon. And I wanted to say it has been an honor and a privilege to bring you all of the authors I have for today. And y'all know I'm very transparent. Y'all know I'm transparent, okay? And my thing is, as an entrepreneur, things might not be easy, but keep moving forward. Keep your heads up high. As authors, there's so many things that we have to do. There's so many things that we have to do, and it is so important. Okay, wait a minute. Where did that email come from? Hold up, let me. So many things that we have to do, and um, hold on, babies. As authors, it is important for us to go ahead and keep writing our stories and keep writing, make it do what it do, make it do what it do. Our next guest is Miss Rosalind Severine McLean, and she is the author of Oceans of Thoughts, Book 2, A Wave of Smooth Intensity, Captivating Energy, and a Historical Movement of a Musical Decade. That is our guest for today. And so, let me see. Wait a minute, where did she go? Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all. Miss Rosalind, Miss Rosalind. Okay, hold on. Where did she go? Oh goodness. I'm like totally baffled here. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, Miss Rosley, can you come back on screen, baby? I might have clicked you off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might have clicked you off. My bad. Sorry. Hold on, y'all, for a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Hold on, everybody, cause sometimes I'm a solopreneur, so I am soloing it today. So bear with me, okay? Rosalind, mic is clean and ready to use. Hey, Miss Rosalind, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Miss Cherise, I can't see.
Oh God, wait a minute. Why is the thing? Hold on. Come back here, Miss Rosalind. I'm sorry. Okay. Do 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 do. I'm sorry. It won't. Okay, the cam. Okay, you may want to go. Okay, I hear you, but I don't see you.
Okay, I don't think some camera is not working because I can't. We can't see me.
No, ma'am, cannot see you. Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on the computer.
Okay.
The camera is not coming on.
All right. Okie dokie. That might have to do with something that is going on your end
Mm-mm.
as the camera. what are you? Okay, hold on, cause you got any other apps open?
No, my daughter is trying to get it on now because
Okay,
it's not coming on.
okay, I'll give you a few minutes. We got time today.
Okay.
We got time today.
Yeah. Okay, I came on early. Yeah. It
Okay.
says no camera, no camera.
Let's see. I don't know what that could be.
My daughter is doing it, trying to get me on now. Because I don't know either. I get on Zoom all the time, but for some reason it's not.
Like, you might want to go out and restart your computer.
Yeah, we are out. My daughter, yeah, she's doing it.
So while we're waiting on Miss Miss Rosalind to get everything straight on her end, I want to give y'all understanding of hello everyone, and I am Sharice Johnson Moore, and I am the owner of Sharice N. Johnson Moore LLC, and I am a publishing consultant, visibility coach. And I want to say welcome everyone to Authors Visibility Marathon. It has been a privilege to come before you to do this marathon with all of with all of the authors that I know. And I wanted to say that you don't want to miss the main event next month. You do not want to miss the main event for next month, which is the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. The I Am Enough Empowerment Expo is happening next month. It is in Stockbridge, Georgia, and we are going to be in the place with Miss Wanda D. Hollis. Wanda D got a panel for the winners. Wanda D got a panel for the winners. Wake up, wake up, wake up, winning. 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 Okay, so that's her theme song, y'all. I can't wait. She's had music composed to her. I'm enough. Her Wanda, I am enough. Empowerment Expo, and it is a thing that's gonna be off the chain. Now, I wanna specify this why I have everyone here in the place to be. Hello, everyone, and how is everyone doing? I want to say it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to have you here with everyone in the room. And oh, okay, we back.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. My daughter got it on. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So, how are you doing today, Miss Rosalind? How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing good, good, good. How are you doing too?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
I'm so
doing
excited to
marvelous.
be on. Yeah, little ruffles, but
Yeah,
that's kind of strange, but at least
right.
it's working.
Right. We're gonna make it do what it do, boo. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have to have it working.
Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Rosalind, can you introduce yourself to our audience, who you are and what you do?
Right. My name is Rosalind Severin McLean.
Mhm.
I'm an author of Oceans of Thoughts book series that's available on many platforms. Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, we have Walmart and other platforms on social media. I'm also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, LinkedIn, All Authors,
Mhm.
Alignable, name it. That's where I met Sherry's on Alignable.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, yes, I live in New York. I'm from Dominica in the Caribbean, and my work in Oceans of Thought is inspirational poetry.
Mhm.
Like my autobiography, as someone explained, categorized me as autobiography mixed in with poetry. So that's what's happening here. So
Yes.
I am non-fictional, his historical non-fiction.
Mhm.
That's what, yeah, I can see aligning with that
Yes, ma'am.
genre. Yeah. So this is Oceans of Thoughts. This is Rosalind Severin McLean. Besides being an author, I'm a cultural dance artist. As you see, I have all my cultural stuff on. I'm from Dominica, so my cultural stuff is on. Oceans of Thoughts is bright, inspirational, and vibrant. And this is what I speak. life experiences with dealing with just about everything that goes according to the spectrum of life. You deal with bullying, grief. Everyone deals with grief. And what I write about myself is I'm writing about you, because everyone goes through just about the same experiences across the globe. We're in different parts of the land, different parts of the world, but we go through the same thing. So here I come in, doing oceans of thoughts, in
Yes.
allowing you to look within yourself,
Uh-huh.
look within the inner self, find some
Yes.
inner peace, and
Okay.
find some clarity.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
everything comes from within.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
everything is
So,
from within.
what inspired you become an author?
Actually, I had been doing this writing for decades. Okay, and I had been putting some of my work out there in magazines and little magazines and Facebook and different. But my daughter, she says, "Mommy, why don't you write a book?" That was during the pandemic time. I said, "A book? I can't write a book." She said, "Yeah, you have all this work on pieces of paper around your house. You have this,
Uh-huh.
you have that." Yeah. She says, "You have all this work there. Why don't you put it together?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, I have to find somebody to show me how to write a book because I have." She said, "But you have enough there." And this went on for a while, and I got on the computer and I started researching about publishing and you know and I
Mm-hmm.
found someone to actually take his class and show me. In the class I learned about the editing part and the whole 9 yards in publishing, and this is how I started. So I already had a lot of my work there. Most of the work you see in book one and book two was already written. It was
Mm-hmm.
already written over the decades, and you could see in when I autographed myself with the poetry, I put my name and the date, the
Mm-hmm.
year. And so I just had to get within myself to know which one to put where and how I'm going to format the book. And my daughter was saying, "Oh, if I put something," she said, "You can't put this with this. You got to put this with that," and that. But I already had my work written. I
Yes.
had no idea that I could write a book. That was the furthest thing from my mind
Mm-hmm.
all through these years. I'm
Mm-hmm.
writing this thing, but you know, people always think that you're crazy because it sounds different.
Mm-hmm.
The, as a child growing up, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like not in the forefront at all. I was always put behind, put down. Oh, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
so I had absolutely no idea and no confidence in that at all. I
Yes.
was more into music as I wrote Oceans of Thoughts book two,
Mm-hmm.
about my music journey.
Yes.
And I was into music and dance and art and culture. So that is
Mm-hmm.
where I flourished. I literally flourished on this level up to
Yes.
today.
Yes, ma'am.
And yeah, so this is how it came about. And then the name, she says to me, "Mommy, you have to put something that goes with your work." I said,
Uh-huh.
"Look at you." She says, "Why don't you write normal?" She said,
Mm-hmm.
so she's saying to me because of the way the book is coming out.
Yes.
And Oceans of Thoughts and stuff, kind of get the name together. Say you got to use something that represents what you do. Look at all this work. You have all this work. And then I started going to my meditation more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And oceans is not only the sea. Everybody says the sea and the ocean, Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific
Yeah.
Ocean. That's not the only ocean in the
Right.
universe.
Mm-hmm. You
So
got your
I
brain.
went,
Yeah.
yeah, I went out there
Yes.
and I used the inspirational oceans
Yes,
of
ma'am.
your thoughts. And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, that's what I stuck with. Because this
Okay.
is what I'm writing about, the inspirational oceans
Yes, ma'am.
of your thoughts. Yeah.
So, in the process of you becoming an author, how has your journey evolved with each book you've written?
Oh, yes. It has taken off, from the beginning stages. It has really grown. People have gotten excited, the audience, the reading public who have read and heard about my work
Mm-hmm.
and felt the journey in the work, how it's affecting them, how it's
Mm-hmm.
relating to them, how it's influencing them. Because I'm talking about the inner journey,
Yes.
inner self, your inner peace.
Yes, ma'am.
And yeah, they refuse, and people messaging me and talking to me. And I have traveled during the course of time, I never realized that people out there had the book. They they would approach me and say, "I have your book," and I would say, "Oh, thank you so much," and go to 9 yards, but not realizing that yes, it has touched lives globally. People have
Mm-hmm.
genuinely, reached out,
Yes.
and it has evolved. And
Mm-hmm.
I am just thanking and being grateful
Mm-hmm.
to the universe, to the God above, to the God within, the God within all of us,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
my work has been accepted in such a way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
It has been, yeah, has been accepted. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the evolvement of oceans of thoughts,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, ma'am. So, how do you balance writing multiple books while managing other responsibilities?
Wow, yeah. That's a good one, yes. But I write more in the evening, especially during the week because I work full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I am more, my inspiration, it comes all the time, but I more settle into writing at night, in
Mm-hmm.
the wee hours of the morning. Sometimes I do something in between because I have other commitments, the home, the house, the, the work. And then
Mm-hmm.
I also have other things that I do. Then I dance, so I have that too. I have to look about.
Yes.
So it is, I am more doing this work at night
Yes,
while
ma'am.
everyone is sleeping in their wee bed. When I'm really putting the book out, it's two in the morning, sometimes three, and I have to get up to work in the morning, and I have to say, I got to go to bed now because I have to tell myself.
Yes.
And then too, I am communicating on the Upwork with the people, the techs who are doing the aligning of the books, and they are where in Pakistan and wherever they are, so there's a big time difference,
Yes.
so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more, that's the balance. The balance is knowing what you're doing,
Yes.
knowing your purpose,
Uh-huh.
and not straying from that purpose.
Yes,
Once
ma'am.
you have that purpose, it becomes easy.
Yes, ma'am.
It becomes difficult when you're doing something away from that purpose, when you haven't centered and you're just doing things, you know, out of the spoke. Then you find you don't have time for this, that, the other, because you're taken away from what you're doing. But once you have the purpose and you center in that purpose, you
Mhm.
find that it becomes easy
Yes, ma'am.
or
So what,
easier.
yes, ma'am. So what kind of feedback have you gotten from your book?
It's been very good. It's been very, very positive and very educational, because
Yes.
some of the feedbacks have been from education.
Yes.
And yeah, because Oceans of Thoughts has gone into the universities, got into schools.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, whatever they use them for at the university or at the school, it's good. It's good for that,
Mm-hmm.
because they can use it for their projects. They can use it for their libraries, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they're doing, electives, whatever it is. Oceans of Thought is being used for at university.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
there. That's the important thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that in itself is like climax to the feedback that
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten for the books.
Yes, ma'am. So I wanted to ask you, so how do you approach the marketing of multiple books? How do you approach that aspect, the marketing part? Of,
Yeah, it can get tricky, but I look one at a time. I believe in the old fashioned. I'm very old fashioned in a lot of things. Things that are modern, and I take it like that, one at a time. I may want to, like for instance, I decided, okay, let's promote book two.
mm-hmm.
I'm not doing book one, two, and three. No, one
Yes,
at a time. Book two.
yes.
Let it get that vision, vision,
Uh-huh.
from the world, you
Yes.
know, and I take it like that. So when I hire someone to do promotions
Mm-hmm.
for Oceans of Thoughts, it's one at a time.
Yes.
I may one. It depends on the feeling or the what's happening at the time that triggers a light in me. I will say, oh, use book three. Let's do book three,
Mm-hmm.
and I will search and hire someone to promote book three, if
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it that way. A lot of it, I do videos like I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is it okay? I'm sorry. That's the
Oh, look, we all got them cheering and always doing something, don't we? They always got to be doing. We see her, right? That's okay.
I'm sorry. That's it.
It's all right. Look, look. Our dog, our pets, are children too.
Yes.
They think mommy not paying attention to me, so I gotta be noisy. I gotta be heard over here. I need some attention. But it's
She's
fine.
announcing. She's
It's
announcing I don't
fine.
believe in.
I've had a dog. I had a dog before, so I get it. The
Yes.
dog, dogs are like children. They need attention. Okay, it's okay.
Thank you.
It's all right, baby.
Yeah. All
Um,
right. Thank you.
and the thing is, I wanted to express, what kind of challenges have you faced in the career as an author?
Challenges. Well, you could. I never. I have been asked this question on several interviews, and I can never answer that question about the challenges
Mm-hmm.
because I don't see this book as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I look at it as I mentioned before, when you have your purpose, it becomes easier.
Yes.
You know, I don't see the challenge in writing. People have asked me, and I cannot find a challenge that, or whatever they think is a challenge, I don't look at it as a challenge.
Yes, ma'am.
I look at it as everything has a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and if it is I sit to write and nothing comes, there's a reason why nothing comes. That's not a challenge. That's God's work.
Right. We gotta wait on God. Right. We
You got
gotta
to
wait.
wait on Him. You got to wait on the inspiration. You got to wait on the thought to write. Sometimes I sit and nothing comes. And I
Yeah.
say, okay. I don't look at it as a challenge.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe the sales may not be as promising as other people's sales, but who knows what they're doing to make those sales?
Yes.
And besides that, if I've been this way, my success is people reading the book.
Yes, ma'am.
One person reading the book is a success for me.
Right. Is that
Because
one? That
just
one.
one person reading. Because I was told that no one would read my books
Amen.
when I first started, when I first published. That was the first thing I was told.
Mm-hmm.
Put down, real jagger. Who wants to read your book? What makes you think you're that important that someone wants to read about your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, these are the type of things I got from
Yes.
people who you would never expect. And if I
Right.
was had to listen, I would not have written 4 books and
Right.
been where these books are now.
Amen.
So that may be a challenge, but to me that was growth because the more they said and the more they did,
Yeah.
the better oceans of thoughts became.
Right? Like I'm gonna finish this. I ain't thinking about what they talking about. God got me on a purpose. God has me in a plan and something He wants me to birth. And that is the understanding of look, we can't let the outside world dictate to us what God is telling us to do.
Exactly, exactly.
So
Because
yeah,
when I did book 1 and that was for book 1, that was the beginning, and people would like joggers, and
yeah,
to the least people you expected to, people you thought who would support you, they were
yeah.
the loudest vocals to bring me down.
No.
Book 1 came out,
Uh-huh.
and the world went wild.
Yeah.
Wait, what about the band? The band, because I played music. So many of those who knew about my
Yeah.
journey in
Yeah.
music were excited. They said, I don't see the band. I said, that's coming.
Uh-huh.
This book 2 was published within the year. I didn't wait a year. It went out right away, book
Okay.
2. And
Okay.
it just, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those same voices were coming out, but they
Yeah.
were coming less and less until they stopped talking to me.
Right? Like I ain't trying to hear that. I
Yeah,
ain't really listening.
yeah,
Sometimes it be like that where we have to
yeah,
block out all
yeah,
those naysayers
yeah.
and the people that have so much negativity because you know what I realize about people? People that always come at us like that when we're doing something that God asks us to do, they mad because they didn't follow God's instructions of what they had to do, what God asked them to
Exactly,
do. So
exactly.
I had some people have that tendency of they get mad at others because they're going after their dreams. They're going after what God asked them to do, and they're sitting there mad, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, and it's like all you do is pick the pen, pick up the pad, do the research. God asks you open a restaurant. Okay, find out everything you need to do about a restaurant.
Restaurant.
God asks you write a book. Find out everything you need to do about a book. And don't let. Sometimes you can't tell the left hand what the right hand
Right.
do.
Doing. That's
You know,
right.
I found that out too, that you can't
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody what you're
What you're
doing.
doing.
You just have it come out when it
It
come
just
out,
come out.
when God allow you to put it out there, or God let you reveal it to the other people. And sometimes we can't cast our pearls before swine.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
If you was in, what advice would you give to a first time author?
There's a lot that can be said for
Okay.
to a first
Well,
time.
we got
The
time
first,
today. We got
yeah,
time, we got time today.
the first thing I would say
Mhm.
to them,
Yes.
you are your own competition.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
not look at anyone else.
Yes.
Look at yourself. Get in front of that mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Look directly at your eyes.
Yes.
When you look at your eyes, you're going to see your heart.
Yes.
You are your own competition.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the total globe
Yes.
of your success, of doing anything, whether it's a book, a dance, whether you go to school, whether it's college, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The normal man,
Yes.
the man of today, the man of yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
looks at the material,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a competition. You go to school, you go to the university, get the
Mm-hmm.
grades, and higher grades at the other, then yeah, that's all it's about.
Yes.
There's no depth to it. It's like you have your doctor, your lawyer, your this, your that.
Mm-hmm.
You got an A, they don't A plus. Oh, they got higher than me, blah blah.
Yeah. Yes,
Fine.
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Look within yourself
Mm-hmm.
and be your own competition.
Amen.
Be better today for yourself than you were yesterday. For yourself, not for nobody else.
Right for you.
For you.
Yes.
And in that way, I've said so many other interviews, and
Mm-hmm.
people look at me strange. They say, "No, you're your own competition."
Mm-hmm.
From my experience and what I have been through,
Mm-hmm.
from teachers and you know the red pen always marking you wrong, you're giving you a failure. When you look at your book, you have everything right, but they read some of your red marks. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes F when you're supposed to be an A or whatever the story is.
Uh-huh.
That's a competition. They brainwash you to believe that's the only way you can excel.
Yes.
But no, the way
Mm-hmm.
the good Lord and the good inspiration and the
Mm-hmm.
inner self want you to excel
Mm-hmm.
is like looking within and being your own competition.
Yes.
You are you're doing a podcast now.
Yes.
You have your podcast. Someone would look at you and want to be like you and
Mm-hmm.
say, ah, gosh, she has this thing. How can I do? Right away, that's wrong. Why you want to be like Charisse? Do you know what Charisse had to do to be where she is today? Do you know
Right.
what she had to do? Do you know the things and all? If you want to be like Charisse, all the negative things and all the bad things that happened to Charisse should happen to you too.
Right. They don't understand. They don't understand. It was a song. It's a song I play every morning. It's a song I play every morning. And say, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through.
Exactly. You see?
And that song sets my day off as look, and then I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through.
Yeah.
You didn't see me now, you didn't see me then. When I had no friends, when I was home alone, all
Yeah.
alone, I was sitting at home, just it's the thing of is be proud of the way God made you
Thank you.
individually.
That's the core. That's the core of oceans of thoughts, and that's the core of the way I think. I may
Yes.
be wrong because
Everybody,
everything is up to everybody, and everybody. Some people may say that what is she talking about? Oh, no. But no, I believe in that.
you.
From what I have been through in life,
You. Hmm.
I've reached my senior years. Thank God.
Hmm.
Being grateful is the key,
Yes.
and looking within,
Yes.
meditate, grab it to yourself, and you know, be grateful to the holy inspiration and the holy God.
Yes. Hmm.
And when you see people doing good,
Yeah.
Be thankful.
Yeah.
They have done good.
Yeah. Tell them, look, I'm proud of you.
Yes, compliment
Have,
them.
go and you like, okay, well, how did you do this? And da da
Yeah.
da da da. And one thing I've learned is being a author in my 9 years, it'll be 10 years in July coming up. Teach others.
Yes.
Teach.
Teach.
Teach others what they think they teach them about how it is to actually be an author. Because there's so much fake information out here.
Yes.
And some people think they know it all. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. You want to correct them, but then some people don't take correction well.
Exactly.
And you have to learn how to have discernment when to share the information that you know and when not to share the information that you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's what I had to say about first time authors.
Yeah.
Miss Rosalind, do you have anything coming up, any events coming up that you're going to be participating at, or book signs or anything?
Well, I just had a couple, I had a couple interviews I've done, very, very recently. So that could answer to your question. If they look on my YouTube and my Facebook, they will see some of the interviews that I've done. Very recently with press publishing, I did interviews for Oceans of Thoughts Book 4. I
Mhm.
did Ocean Book and Book 3. I had two different publishing. Poetry Day. I
Yes.
did Poetry Day and children's marathon, the one for children. So I just did that recently. I have a couple magazine publication coming up
Hmm.
with some text I met online on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
and I'm waiting for it to come out so I can promote it. You
Uh-huh.
know, so there are two of them. I also did one with Lincoln. That's the executive, diaries, executive diaries. It's
Yes, ma'am.
on Lincoln. So
Hmm.
I did that most recently. These are the more recent ones. I'm also on the influential women
Yes.
platform. So
Hmm.
that with that platform, I am putting out some work.
Okay.
They ask, putting out different work that they're asking. So you could see that on here too.
Hmm.
And I joined the Caribbean Push, POSH,
Uh-huh.
group. I met them on LinkedIn. Everything about them meeting on LinkedIn, and I hoping to you know, do some
Yes.
promotions with them and stuff like that. So that's where Oceans of Thoughts is. And being with Caribbean culture,
Hmm.
I am promoting the culture with my work,
Yes.
because Oceans of Thoughts is based, about my life and the Caribbean and the
Mm.
history, a lot of history in there,
What?
you know.
Okay. So where are you from in the Caribbean?
I'm from Dominica, the
Okay.
Commonwealth of Dominica. Yeah, that's all the way in the middle of the ocean, next to
Um,
Guadeloupe, Martinique,
right to Haiti.
further than Haiti. You
Oh,
will
okay.
find it more near Saint Lucia.
Oh,
You know,
oh,
Saint Lucia,
okay.
Martinique.
Oh, okay. Over there by St. Thomas.
No, St. Thomas is closer out. If you know about St. Lucia, you hear
Yes.
Barbados, you hear
Yes.
Martinique,
Oh,
Guadeloupe.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where Dominica is. Yeah, in
Okay.
that,
Yes,
right
ma'am.
there in that region.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how helpful has your daughter been in your author career?
She's pretty helpful when it comes to the computer. Like you saw this morning, she was trying to help me out with that,
Hmm.
and anything online. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and of course, she's a young lady, so she has
Yes.
her own life, and
Hmm.
it's a matter of me waiting on her to,
Okay.
to help me out. But she
Yes.
comes through,
Mm.
and she does more the computer work
Mm.
aspects of
She
Oceans of Thoughts.
she the
Um,
behind the scene technician.
Behind the scenes, yeah, because Laura's, I said to her, I sent you to school, I educated you, so you have to
Hey,
help
come
me.
on, come on, help my mouth. Come on over
You
here.
have to help me. 'Cause all
Help,
this computer
help.
work, I sent you to school to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
right?
that's where she comes in.
Yes.
She comes in with the computer aspects,
Hmm.
putting the work in the categories, doing all the aligning of the book before I
Yes.
send it out
Hmm.
to be proofread,
Yes.
or anything that needs to be done for books, for the books. before I
That's
could send it out.
uh-huh.
All the work that I'm doing here on the computer, she's the one. I will do it, but
Yeah.
then she will put it where it's supposed to go, put it
Yes.
in categories,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And after all that's done, then we can send it out. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where she comes in, nothing else. And
Okay.
of course, it's like, I'm coming, mommy. I'm coming. It's still coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Right. I'm gonna get that. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You
She,
throwing too much at me right now. Just slow down, for a minute, mom,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like to I like to see that dynamic that mommy and daughter working together in the success of what mommy does and the success of what your daughter does as
Yeah.
well. And some our children play a very successful role in our lives as mothers, as authors in our careers and things like that. So I give your daughter props when she's helping mommy do mommy business and behind the scenes stuff.
We understand.
So
It can be difficult, but
yes,
she does it.
yes, but she there for
Yeah.
mommy.
It's there.
So tell her
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
I said thank you.
Yes, yes, I will tell her, and she will hear the interview too, so she will
Thank
see
you.
it. Yeah.
Right. So when is she gonna write her book?
Oh, well, I don't know about that because she's on a whole different thing right now.
Category
Yeah,
or
she's
lane?
not in that. She tells me, "Oh, mommy, I'm coming, and you're just bothering me or something." She will go into this.
Yeah.
And then she will come. She will come on her own time, and she will
Yes.
sit and we get it done. We will put
Mhm.
the videos on, put the videos wherever in the YouTube, whatever it is.
Mhm.
When it comes to the book part of it, she's the
Mhm.
one aligning everything.
Mhm.
She would send the information out to the
Yes.
book designer.
Yeah.
Uh, she will send it out, the PDFs, because I don't know
Yes.
how to do those things.
Okay.
At my age now, I don't need to know how to do it. I pay you to do it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
she really does. Oceans of Thoughts would not have been born
Hmm.
without her help. I would have had to pay somebody
Amen.
else, which would
Amen.
have been fine too. But
Amen.
I have a feeling, and I said to her,
Mhm.
you know, this is orchestrated. It's not something that just happened. For you to be here with me and assisting me putting out this work,
Yes. Yes.
this is something orchestrated. So you cannot fight it.
Hmm.
She's young, want to do her own thing. But when she's here and
Yes.
she's able to, I say, come on, Morty, let's do this. And I would wait and wait and wait. I said, only 5 minutes. Sometimes it's just a little click I need. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
but she will
So
do it.
yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that
Amen.
she assists on her
Amen.
own time. I got to add that in on her own time.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to thank you today, Miss Rosalind, for coming and spending time with us at the Authors Visibility Marathon. And I pray that you have a blessed day. Now, y'all can turn around and go get Miss Rosalind's book, Oceans of Thoughts, Book 2, A Wave of Smooth Intensity, Captivating Energy, and a Historical Movement of a Musical Decade. It talks about her musical life, her life in music, being a dancer, growing up and being very festive in the community and with her group of friends and things of that nature. And you can purchase her book at oceansofthoughts.com. I want to thank you,
Can
Miss
I,
Rosalind, again for coming today. And do
can
you
I
have,
say something?
yes, ma'am?
Yeah, I would like to thank a couple members of my team
Mm-hmm.
for their support with Oceans of Thoughts. I
Mm-hmm.
have Jennifer Fadell Johnson. She's in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
These ladies that I am speaking about are those who I could call and say, listen to this, and I'd read my work and I say, what do you think? Like editing. They edit over the phone. I have another cousin of mine. She's in
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento, for California,
Yeah.
Janice Carbon, and I have another friend of mine in Canada, Jennifer Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So I could call on those little clique
Yeah.
of ladies who
Yeah.
are around the globe,
Mm-hmm.
and they give me that moral support.
Yes.
When I call and say, this is what somebody told me, and they'll give me that moral strength.
Yes.
Because although we rely on the inner self and the inner inspiration, the Lord placed people in our life to give us a moral strength, a
Yes, ma'am.
moral encouragement. So
Ma'am.
I always say, whenever I speak, I would like to always mention them being grateful for their encouragement as well.
Okay.
You know? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We thank you so much, Miss
Yes.
Roslyn. And Oceans of Thoughts is her book. She's holding up her book cover. She's showing you the book. So please go get it today. All right. All right. Thank you, Miss
Well, thank
Roslyn. And you
you.
have a
I
blessed day,
appreciate
baby.
you. Have a
All
blessed
right.
day as well. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Okay. Bye,
Okay.
babies.
Okay. Bye. Love you too.
All
Bye.
right.
Okay. Again, you have to get me off here.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone's. Okay. So I want to say thank you to I wanted to say, hey, Harold Bears Thoughts, how are you doing today? I wanted to say thank you to everyone that came in today for the Authors Visibility Marathon. Okay. And I realized I want to also give a shout out to Miss Wanda. I want to give a shout out to Harold Bays, Miss Deborah, and Miss Deborah, Deborah Jefferson. Okay, we I did a practice run on this, and it was working then. Anyway, but I appreciate all the help. I appreciate all the help, Miss Deborah, and I want to say, if you don't got nothing to do in May for Memorial Day, you better come on out to the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. Okay, that is I Am Enough Empowerment Expo .com. You can go get your tickets now. Also got this, got a book coming out. It's called Wake Up, Wake Up, Wake Up Winning. 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 Wanda D got a panel for the winners. Wanda D got a panel for the winners. Okay, it's called Wake Up Winning No Matter What. Okay, that is the new book that's coming out. It's an anthology. It has 10 other authors in this marvelous work of art. Okay, and it is the visionary author is Miss Wanda D. Hollis out of Atlanta, Georgia. And she is my book coach for my second book. Okay, my second book. Okay, and I want to say, if y'all need somebody to help y'all publish y'all books, take you through the process, please check out Miss Wanda D. Hollis. Okay. I wanted to say the Wake Up Winning No Matter What book launches at the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. Woo! What's up? Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so I am so excited for that. If you don't have your tickets, what is you waiting for? Okay, for the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo, where we have authors, business dignitaries, the mayor. We having Miss Jill Miller there. We're having so many talented people in this expo, and we're launching that Wake Up Winning No Matter What Volume 3 book, okay, with moi in it. Moi, yes, I'm gonna be in it. Yes. Ow. Okay, so I am so excited. Go to I Am Enough. Go to I Am Enough Empowerment. You're welcome, baby. Go to I Am Enough Empowerment Expo.com to get your tickets. Now, if you purchase the book, we sitting out here, we sitting purchase books, right? If you purchase the Wake Up Winning, no matter what book, okay, you bring your receipt to the place to be, to the event, you be able to come in without having paid general admission. That is your way of you supporting the expo. When you purchase the book, you just bring your receipt, proof of purchase, and you can get in without having to pay the general admission fee. You just show the receipt for your book. I bought this book. Okay, all right, cool. All right, okay. That is your way to support, another way to support the cause, the Wake Up Winning wake up winning no matter what, and the I Am Enough movement. I'm enough movement. Oh, you did not know. I don't think y'all knew this either. Do you know she got a day named after that? Okay, a day. I am enough day. I am enough Parliament Day. It is. That is also happening that day. It's in this city. Hey, I think in the state. The state is getting that day. So, Check out Miss Wanda D. Hollis. You can find her on TikTok as the Motivational Queen. Wanda D. Hollis on Facebook and other platforms. I think she has she got a page on everybody page. Okay, either that or I Am Enough talk show. Okay, she also goes Wanda D. Hollis and the I Am Enough talk show. Look up both of those, and you will be able to find Miss Wanda. Okay, now come on, and we go. Oh, did I tell you? We celebrating her birthday too, y'all. Her birthday is the 24th, the same day as the event. So we gonna do some partying after the event. Hey, how you doing? So I want to say thank you, Miss Wanda, for all that you do for us, all that you do for us, and the I Am Enough, the team, executive team. I also want to make this special announcement. Okay, I want to make this announcement while y'all can hear me. Do not accept any other correspondence outside of I Am Enough Talk Show at gmail.com or at SNJM Sharice N. Johnson Moore.com. Okay? Because we have a faker in our midst. We have a faker. I just want to put this out there. Be careful because the person is a scammer. Okay? They are trying to dupe people out of money thinking that they're going to go and send you emails. I found that out the other day and I'm on it, okay? So be careful of the person called Courtney Lyford Archer. Courtney Lyford Archer or Courtney Archer. I just want to put that out there because I'm putting them on blast because I have found out that person has been sending out emails trying to play a team member. They ain't even on a team of nothing. Okay? Just want to let y'all know that. So please be careful. If it is not corresponding through me or Miss Wanda herself, please do not correspond with the person. No. Correspond with me or Miss Wanda. Okay? I Am Enough Talk Show at gmail.com or SNJM at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com. I am the vendor coordinator. Okay? If anybody else try to take that role, you better call me. Okay? Call me. Text me. Send me a bottle and a message or something. Okay? Because we ain't playing that. Okay? I want to say I love you all. And it has been a pleasure to have this author visibility marathon today. I wanted to say it is very important that we keep our eyes and ears open because we gotta make it do what it do. Okay, gotta make it do what it do for you, boo. Okay, come on out. We are still looking for vendors for the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. Okay, we're still looking for vendors. Vendor spots are still available for the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo. Okay, and I just want to, let y'all know that. Okay, we also would love you if you will volunteer. Okay, reach out to me or Miss Wanda for that as well for volunteering. You got a book, you sell soap, you sell deodorant, you sell some homemade toothpaste. Look, long as you got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there with the business. Okay, you can't sit in a corner and think stuff is gonna sell itself. No, it does not work like that. Okay, I just want to let you know. Okay, come on out to the I Am Enough Empowerment Expo where you can display your business, your products and services in front of thousands of people. Do you know how big Atlanta is? Come on. Stockbridge. We're in Stockbridge, Georgia. Now that's just a snippet outside of Atlanta, but then you think about all the other people that are gonna be there, okay? They getting their tickets, they doing their thing, they getting their vendor tables, okay? So do not hesitate today, okay? I love you all, and I will talk to y'all later on today on my later on today for Saturday Book Talk Day. I do that on TikTok, okay, at 6 o'clock. Okay, and today we got a special guest. Her name is Nicole K. Nicole Dixon. K. Nicole Dixon. She is our special author for the Saturday Book Talk Day at 7 p.m. on TikTok. Okay? All right? I love you all, and I want everyone to have a blessed day. Deuces.